The news is full of worry. A new rule proposed by the government has many families afraid for their homes. Some say the law demands it. Others say mercy should guide us. And all the while, the children wait, not knowing if next month they will still have a bed to sleep in. History has seen moments like this before. When a nation faces a hard choice, the rules of the law or the call of the heart, not all news is black and white. Let us take this time to pause, breathe, and look deeper. The Republic can be saved if we choose patience, reason, and conscience. Picture a quiet hallway in a city apartment building at sunrise. A mother opens her door, dreading what she may find, an eviction letter, or the simple hush of neighbors waiting for news. This is not just a debate of numbers or names. It is families, woven together, facing the storm with little shelter but each other. What has happened? The Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD for short, has put forward a rule. This rule aims to ban families from public housing if even one person is undocumented. It asks local housing offices to report families to immigration officials. And by HUD's own numbers, 24,000 residents may be touched. Council groups warn the real count could be as high as 80,000, over half of them young citizens, American by birth, but children of parents born elsewhere. Think of a crowded kitchen before school, children packing bags, parents boiling water for oatmeal. These are not strangers, but neighbors. In many cases, the children are citizens, just like you, just like me. The law, it is said by some, must protect the taxpayer and the citizen first. And it is true. Public support is not endless, and the waiting lists are long. Far more hope for homes than the nation can provide at once. Still, the families in question already pay more rent, because those without papers get no subsidy. Local housing helpers say much of what these families pay goes right back into the system. For some, it feels the program is being used, for others, that it is being made more fair. Yet what happens if we press forward without pause? Experts warn that many families will lose their place. Thousands of children, who are Americans by every law, may find themselves out in the cold. Imagine a row of small shoes and backpacks lined up by the door, but no sure answer as to where they'll go at night. That is the real human risk behind the paperwork. Now, why does this matter beyond one set of rules? Because every time a law strains the bonds of family, a little of our union is pulled apart. We are a nation of laws, but also a nation born from the promise that every person is worthy of a home and hope. The 14th Amendment, signed in the ruins of an old war, says any child born here is America's child. If rules drive children from homes due to their parents' place of birth, we risk more than comfort. We risk our very covenant as a people. Visualize a school gym at morning, children lining up their lunch cards, some with bright eyes, others tight-lipped and quiet, their families in uncertainty. These are the faces of the Republic, mottled, many-colored, but American still. What is the argument from those who support the rule? They say, first, we must serve those who came here by law. They point to the scarcity and the duty we have to citizens who wait. There is reason in this. It is wrong to ignore the needs of those who have done all required, yet still find themselves left behind. But strength with restraint is our tradition. Law should be a shield, not a club. To those who would wield policy for order's sake, I say, remember the cost is not just measured in dollars, but in the futures shaped by shelter, schooling, and a sense of belonging. Every child put on the street will cost far more in support, policing, and loss of human promise than if we helped them in the first place. Picture city workers stacking cots in a gymnasium late at night, volunteers bringing in blankets while outside, rain streaks the steps. This is the cost of families made homeless by decree. There is wisdom, too, in mercy. If we enforce every rule to the hardest letter, soon the law becomes brittle and cold. The founders placed limits on power for a reason, to keep government humane, even when anxious times tempt us otherwise. We ought to ask, is this policy rooted in safety, in thrift, in justice, or in fear? Not all citizens worry from the same reasons. Some say, I work hard and I want fairness. Others say, I fear change. But across the differences, most want the country to remain a place where families can grow, where children can believe in tomorrow. Imagine a main street as dusk lowers, workers spilling from a plant, speaking in quiet tones about the new policy, wondering if it will help or hurt their town. This is where real America wrestles with the question. Let us walk a little further down this road of thought together. We see the law must be honored or chaos reigns. We see too that law loses its honor when it divides parent from child, not for crime or danger, but for where a parent was born. The hard work now is how to balance these truths every day in ways that uphold both order and kindness. Think of a town council meeting, folding chairs lined up, neighbors young and old listening as leaders debate whose needs must come first. Voices rise, but so too does hope for wisdom. Some worry this rule could separate citizen children from parents with no papers. HUD, as yet, gives no answer on how it would be done. Will children remain, or will families be cut apart? No cost summary has been released. No plan for how local offices will bear the workload, train staff, and guard privacy. Legal questions linger. Does HUD go beyond what lawmakers intended? Will Congress or the courts draw the line? Will local officials refuse to play their part if the rule is too harsh to enforce? These are questions for the whole Republic, not just the leaders. Picture a late-night living room. Lights low, parents whispering at the kitchen table, a teenager scrolling through news on a phone, all quietly waiting for answers that do not come. This is the silent ache of a rule made in Washington, felt most sharply at the family hearth. We must also keep a long view. Rules like this have come before, sometimes passed, sometimes rolled back by later leaders. In the end, what stays is the lesson. If we use law to break our national character, policy becomes a revolving door that never reaches a just end. So, what should citizens do? First, listen without outrage, speak with reason. The Republic cannot afford a crowd set against each other by fear or by blame. True Americans protest with dignity, at the ballot, in letters, at city council meetings, and in those hard, quiet talks between neighbor and neighbor. They ask not just, "What is my right?" but, "What is my duty to the child next door, to the mother at the bus stop, to the man unlocking the store in the morning?" Imagine a small town library on a rainy evening, chairs gathered close, people listening to each other, not yelling, not accusing, but searching for what is just and true. Here is where democracy does its best work, not in the noisy rush to judgment, but in the slow, steady walk toward reason. If you see something wrong, say so without anger. If you see suffering, ask how you can help before you ask who deserves help. History has seen this before. It is not new for fear to drive harsh policies, nor is it new for good people to stand up with calm courage and offer another way. Think of the farmers at dawn, the factory workers at dusk, the teacher unlocking her classroom before the bell, each one quietly building a nation where justice and kindness live side by side. We must also remember, mercy in law does not mean disorder. It means applying judgment with a steady hand, making choices not out of panic, but out of what endures, out of what lets the country stand stronger tomorrow than it stands today. The Republic can be saved. America's strength is her unity. Not all news is black and white, but every day offers a chance for citizens to choose the better part. Picture children splashing in a city fountain on a hot day, mothers and fathers watching, some born here, some far away, all hoping for the same bright future. These are not strangers. They are the nation's heirs. Lawyers will debate, leaders will vote, judges may give their rulings, but the shape of the country is not set by them alone. It is set each morning by how we greet our neighbor, by what we ask our leaders to do, and by what hope we pass down to the next generation. So ask yourself, what is the story America should tell with this decision? That we turned away thousands of children who called this land home? Or that we found a way, even in hard times, to balance law with mercy so the Republic might be made more whole? Imagine nighttime in a big city, apartments glowing, families leaning on each other, the city quiet but full of unspoken dreams. This is the country you shape each day. Take heart, hold to reason. Insist on compassion as well as order. In times of doubt, think less of what divides and more of what binds. Remember, History has seen such struggles before. Yet still, we endure, and the country goes on. The Republic can be saved. And now I ask you, when policy and conscience seem at odds, what kind of answer will you help write for America's story?